Brand equity is very important in marketing theory and practice, and firms invest a lot of money and time to build it over many years. However, what is brand equity and how is it measured? In general, there are two broad measurement approaches, based on what consumers think and feel about the brand, and based on choice or share in the marketplace. The first measure is called consumer-based brand equity. Typically, companies and academics use large-scale consumer surveys to measure perceptions of brands. Sales-based measures of brand equity are that part of a brand's sales or market share which really is due to the brand and not due to attributes such as flavors or marketing, such as promotions or advertising. Despite the importance of brand equity, no empirical study to date has systematically investigated the link between consumer-based brand equity and sales-based brand equity. The goal in this paper is to fill that gap by addressing the following research questions. First, what is the overall association between consumer-based and sales-based brand equity? Second, is the association the same across categories? For example, is the relationship the same for beer, laundry detergent, ketchup, and yogurt? Or are there certain category characteristics that make this association stronger or weaker? Third, does the equity of brands in the hearts and minds of consumers translate into better response to the brand's marketing activity? For example, if consumers hold a brand in high regard, does advertising become more effective? We address these research questions with a really large data set for 290 brands across 25 CPG categories over a period of 10 years. We use 10 years of annual data from Brand Asset Valuator to measure the relevance of a brand to consumers, consumer knowledge of that brand, how much esteem a brand has, and how differentiated it is. We then combine this data with 10 years of weekly Symphony IRI scanner data and use advanced econometric models to calculate a brand's sales-based equity. Overall, we find that the dimensions of how consumers think and feel about a brand have a nuanced association with its marketplace equity. For example, if consumers think that a brand is personally relevant to them, this manifests itself into high equity in the marketplace. However, if a brand is very different and stands out from the crowd, this usually is associated with lower marketplace outcomes. Consumer packaged good companies like P&G, Coca-Cola, and Heinz can learn which dimension of consumer-based brand equity to prioritize, depending on the category. For example, we find that relevance, esteem, and knowledge are important for fragmented categories with a lot of smaller brands like frozen pizza. Brands in hedonic categories like coffee, however, should highlight or enhance energized differentiation. Third, the results of this study caution against a broad brush assumption that brand equity enhances all marketing mix response. For example, brands that are relevant and held in high esteem get higher promotion and advertising response, but they benefit less from increased distribution. Differentiated brands, in turn, only get better advertising response. To sum up, we find that consumer-based brand equity has nuanced relationships with sales-based brand equity and with marketing mix response.